So here's the problem with this UVCH under valve cover harness. You can see here that the tabs have broken off, right? This came out of my truck, took it off, these tabs are gone. And then this was about right there. And you can see that it comes off pretty easy. So somebody said to burn some holes in here with a scribe that I got red hot, so I did that. And it doesn't do anything. It still comes right apart. You can see the holes there. So what I ended up doing was I drilled holes all the way through. And you can see here that if you're lucky, you can get right in between those contactors. I didn't quite do it. I hit metal. I hit metal on one and not on the other. Okay, so what do you do after you drill holes? You put safety wire. Okay, so here we are in the truck. You see the safety wire installed in both spots. Right there, over there. The twists in the end are tucked under the tab, so they help keep those things up. Although, I bet they just break off at some point. I'm tempted to just cut them, but it's working. You can see my electrical probe here, touching the safety wire, and I got an overload. There's no continuity there. I checked the other one, and they're also not touching any of the wires. Here's my pigtail. Checked them all, so it's good. That's not going anywhere. I'm gonna go with it. Here's the other side. Tuck the wires a little different. Ohms out good. Ain't going nowhere. Some notes on the valve cover removal and installation, and also these under valve cover harness tabs and the safety wire fix that I did. So you can see here, this is how it's supposed to work. This tab is supposed to stay up. And if it stays up, it catches on this plastic piece and keeps the harness from disconnecting. So here is the passenger side harness and gasket that I pulled. I replaced all this. You can see here this tab came undone. I probably could have got away with reusing all this stuff, the gasket and this harness, but since this was broken, you know, initially I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to buy it. But honestly, with the safety wire fix, I bet I could have just reused this stuff. But I bought new harness, new gasket, and I drilled holes here and here and used safety wire on both sides, passenger side and driver side. Here you can see this is the driver side, which I did not replace, so this still had these plastic tabs there, but I drilled holes on each side in between the contactors and used safety wire to keep these in there. This is a tool I made out of safety wire. So when you poke the safety wire through here, you have to grab it from the back side and get it around. So this tool allowed me to do that. So this end I held with my finger, and this little hole is what I used to grab the safety wire on the back and then just kind of bend it towards me, and then I was able to grab needle nose and pull the safety wire out and then get it around and use my safety wire pliers to make these nice twists and then tuck it underneath these tabs. So the safety wire not only is holding this, but is holding this up. Honestly, this safety wire is going nowhere, so I think I could have just removed these plastic tabs, but I left them there. So here's the electrical check. Here's this is a cheap pigtail I bought off of Amazon. Honestly, it was like $8 and it didn't look too bad, but I just used it to ohm out all this stuff. So you could see here that one probe is on the yellow wire. And the yellow wire is one of the injector wires. So the injectors measure 2.8 ohms. And I got that on all 8 of them. All 4 on each side. So that was good. Nothing shorted. And then you can see here, one probe is on this brown wire, which is a glow plug wire. So these 2 outside are glow plugs. These 2 outside are glow plugs. And the 4 in the middle are all injectors. So the glow plugs, basically a dead short. So I measured a 0.5 ohm on all the glow plugs. And then I had a hard open to my safety wire to ground, and from the safety wire to all these electrical leads I had a hard open, so nothing touching, which is good. Wanted to make sure before I close this up. Here's the driver's side before I did any work, after I got the cover off. See, all my injectors are stock. I didn't do anything with those. You can see right here the LL, the long lead injector on number 8. I did torque all of these bolts. I guess you call these the cap bolts. I do have the All Data website, and I torqued all these. A few of them did move. I was surprised. Not many, like maybe 3 or 4 of these did move. I didn't torque these guys on top of the injectors, just these caps. Here is the cover installed. Easy, very easy, except for the bolt back here. Man, that thing was tough to get out and to torque down. Here's what I used initially, which was okay to get everything off. But I bought this off of Amazon, 1/4 inch, 13 millimeters. Look how shallow this is. It was perfect. And then I put it on a wobble. And this setup right here was perfect to get that thing back in. And I actually had my valve cover off a couple times because I decided to do the safety wire fix, so I had to take it off. And this setup right here worked great. On the back bolt, this back bolt back here, when you go to install it, you can hold the valve cover, entire valve cover in your hand, and just put that back bolt through the hole. And then with one finger, you hold that bolt in the hole of the valve cover, set the cover down, and just hold it there. And you can actually, with your 2 fingers, that back bolt, thread it. You can get a couple of threads. I think I even actually was able to thread it almost all the way in by hand. And then use this setup to torque it down. It's actually not that bad if you have this magic tool right here, magic setup. There's a glow plug installation. There was some information I got from YouTube about this glow plug being difficult because the socket, as you back out the glow plug, is going to hit this rocker arm. So I found with 1/4 inch drive, This is a 3/8 ratchet with a drop down to 1/4 inch and a 10 millimeter. It was no problem. You just back it out as far as you can. I think it was still going to hit this, but at that point you just pop all this out, pull the socket, and the glow plug comes right out. Like everybody else, I used a tube on the end of the glow plug, and they turned right out. One note, before you remove the glow plugs, I took a rag and my air gun and I blew out the glow plug pocket. It's a mess. You're going to blow oil everywhere. The rag helps keep it, but you're going to aerosol oil everywhere. And that worked really well. There was virtually no oil in that pocket. I didn't want any oil going down into the cylinder head. It wouldn't be that much, and I don't think it's that big a deal, but I did do that. It worked fine. And then when you put the new glow plugs in, getting the glow plug connector pushed onto the top, it's not that bad, but you know, you can't hardly get your fingers in there. You can get your fingers to get the glow plug guided onto the top of the glow plug, but you can't really push it down. So notice here, this is actually my needle nose, and the needle nose are closed. And you put that needle nose right down on top of that, and you'll feel it. It'll push right down, nice and creamy, and you're good to go. So yeah, the glow plugs aren't a big deal. There's a torque spec out there. I forget what it is. But I was able to, after I loosened them, I was able to spin them out by hand using that tube, no problem, and put new ones all in, and no codes after. So really nice.